Let's fucking go. We about to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. Let's fucking go. We going out blazing.
Let's get honey.
This is population. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. 24/7 researching, it's all a fantasy. But if I make the right plays, it pays automatically. Bankroll showing that I know it dope strategy. On a winning streak, I'm stacking a dose of the bookies, all get mad at me. Confident with power plays, not clicking on a flex today. 10 times the money, and we all about to get paid. Arrogant shots on the stream, they be killing it. Never gonna stop it, I like if you feeling it. Digging the players, they all never time. You can't make up your mind, then just go with your gut. Fantasizing and Sasha Cloud. Gabby Williams said, watch your mouth. They one and they two, I play the over, they come through. Jackie Young and Kelsey Plum, pick them both, we stacking them. Going big to the maximum, just push them in, we cashing them. Let's fucking go. We about to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. Let's fucking go. We going out blazing. This is population. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. We about to go big.
This is the game.
We going out blazing.
Let's get honey.
This is population. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks.
All right, yo, what is up, crew? It is Tuesday, September 13th, and we are back. We got Eric and Vince with us today, and Tito, we trust. How we doing today, fellas?
Pretty good.
Good.
Interested to see this game too.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's been a fun day. It's been a fun day.
Yeah.
But
Vince has been grinding in Euro, so we're actually we'll cover that at the end. In case you want to combine some Euro plays, Eurobasket with WNBA, because if you increase your player pool, obviously you increase your odds of hitting. So I think it could be fruitful if we combine the Euro with WNBA. So we'll definitely share our strong early leans on that at the end, and maybe do a card construction with a mixed card. I mean, Euro, it was mixed results, but I think tomorrow should be good, right, Vince?
as long as there's no Wancho there, I think we're good, bro. I think we're good.
Yeah. Hustle. So what a weird. Okay, so I don't know if a lot of people probably didn't catch the game or follow it that closely. Game one on Sunday, since it started pretty much right in the midst of opening NFL Sunday.
Yeah.
But I watched it. I went back and watched it again, unfortunately, and what a weird game.
It was
So
awful. It was awful, bro.
Awful. I want to kind of just do a quick breakdown and then get your guys' thoughts on game script, and then we'll just dive right into Connecticut props here. But I think it's key to go over this game. There's a lot of things to look at here. So Vegas, for the first time all season, was held under 70 points, the lowest point total they had, and they still won. And they had one of their most important offensive scores. Kelsey Plum had one of her worst shooting nights, and they still won, which is just kind of crazy to think about. She was 1 of 9 from the field. But although on the opposite side, Connecticut, they had their second lowest point total on the season, 64, and Bonner shot 1 of 9 as well. So kind of a wash between two really important scorers on both teams in terms of scoring. So now, defensively and schematically, I understand why this happened. So Bonner, what Vegas ended up doing is they ended up running a 2-3 zone, which is really smart by Becky. I mean, I would have done the same thing, because what is Connecticut? What is their bread and butter all season long? Score in the paint, hammered in the paint, hammered inside. So just crowd the paint, right, and clog those lanes, make it hard for those all those Connecticut drives to the basket, and they really just basically formed a wall on Bonner, and it made it really hard for her to score. Now Plum, on the other hand, that's a different situation. She is just her shots off, and with shooters, when they go in these slumps, they're in a slump. And I think right now for her, more so than just defensive schematic, or just defensive schemes by Connecticut, it's not really affecting her. It's more so just I think it's in her head. So it's gonna be tricky figuring out what's gonna happen tonight because I wouldn't expect the same thing tonight. I think one or if not both will improve their shooting and get some buckets tonight. That was just really low shooting percentages for them. But yeah, I don't think Vegas is going to change anything defensively. I think they're going to run that zone a lot. It works and it makes sense. If a team is relying on scoring inside, yeah, run the 2-3 zone. It's the most effective, and you run 2-3 zones on against offenses that can't shoot from the outside, especially three balls, and you can live with open threes, especially against Connecticut. Only ones that have a threat are Bonner and Heidemann. But yeah, overall, Vegas dominated the majority of the game. Connecticut had a pretty strong second quarter. They held Vegas to 9 points in that quarter, and it went up by 12, or had a 12-point differential, and then they were leading by like around 7 or 8 points in that quarter. And then Vegas took over in the third and fourth. I think it's something you got to take into consideration here, and you got to remember WNBA. It's a 5-game series, right? So this game is almost a must-win for Connecticut, in my opinion. You almost have to steal a game on the road if you're the visiting team in a 5-game series, because if you don't, you got to win 3 in a row, and we know how that goes in any series, basketball series, no matter what level you're at. So with Connecticut back against the wall, they're going to come out strong again defensively. They're getting it done defensively, but I think they're almost doing it too much on defense, and as a result, they're sacrificing their offense. And yeah, they're spending so much energy on defense to shut down Asia and Gray and Jackie. So yeah, I don't know. I think they might pick it up a little bit more offensively, but I would expect the same kind of defensive battle here from Connecticut. I think the game stays close, but I think Vegas most likely will pull it out. Now, it's so hard to predict Connecticut games all season, and especially in the playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised if Connecticut gets swept, and I wouldn't be surprised if Connecticut comes and somehow pulls an upset. You never know with this team. Complete wild card team. So yeah, I think it's really hard to predict game script with them. But I will say that I would say that Plum is the X factor for Vegas. If she picks up her scoring at all, it's game over. It's a wrap for Connecticut, because we know that Asia and Chelsea are gonna get it done, and if Jackie's gonna put up her solid stats, and if Plum picks up the scoring, I just don't see how Connecticut can keep up scoring wise. So that's kind of my breakdown and thought on the game, and the last game and the game tonight. Game script wise, what do you guys think? We'll start with you, Eric.
Yeah, this last game was really weird, honestly. If you take a look at just kind of their not only history in general, but for the season, this game was almost 20 points lower than most of their normal game totals, or even just team totals that they've had for the season. So many points were left out there on the court, like it was ridiculous. Just going back to a few stats here, it was pretty terrible, and it's a bad day when Alyssa Thomas is your best field goal percentage shooter, and she only had 56%. So I think that definitely speaks volume to both sides really focusing on defense, and then a couple of those question marks that are really going on with, I think, a mental game right now with Plum. I was hitting on that earlier about her postseason stats, that pretty much the game one that the postseason started, her 3 points started going down and her interior shots were going back up. So we've seen for her 3 points made on a steady decline down, but her free throws made and her free throw attempts have really jumped up. And I think a lot of that's these tough matchups that they've had. We've had good defense between Seattle and Connecticut going up against that. And she's just not shooting. I think something's wrong or her rhythm's off right now, and she's due for a huge game. I mean, she has lit them up all year except for this last game, and we know that Vegas plays exceptionally better when they're at home as opposed to being on the road. So I wouldn't bet against her unders tonight, but she's got some interesting props that we'll get to here in a little bit.
Yeah, I in that game when I was watching it, I noticed a lot of times she would just come when she had the ball, she would come down the court and she would immediately dish it off and then just like run to the corner and just kind of play the ghost trail, like draw defenders away for Chelsea and Jackie and Asia, and just sit in the corner. And if her defender trailed off her, she would have the open three, and she still wouldn't make it. Yeah, I mean, it's just shooters, they just got to shoot their way out of it, and she's a determined player, so she could easily get it done. I just don't know. We'll get to Vegas. We'll get to that when we get to Vegas, but yeah, I just don't know if it's worth betting on a bounce back or just staying away until we see her get back in the groove of things. Vince, what do you think how the game will go tonight?
Honestly, I really don't see it being a whole lot different. I think both teams were obviously Vegas felt like they should have scored more, which I think we all agree. They have a lot of offensive pieces. But we've seen for the entire playoffs that this is what Connecticut has just been doing. They've
Yeah.
just been shutting teams down. Like they put all their energy on defense. They tire out their opponents. They wear them out over the series, and I mean they just have to hit their shots. I'm actually surprised that they didn't pull it off, holding the Aces down that far.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Connecticut had 40 points in the paint. 40 compared to Vegas 20 points in the paint.
Yeah.
Like if you have that much of a difference, you should be winning. Even the shooting percentages for Vegas, they
Yeah.
shot 33% from three. I mean, they shot 56% overall, but they just weren't comfortable. And you saw Asia just like have to force a lot of free throws too
Yeah.
to
So yeah,
get points.
that was the difference, right?
Yeah.
That was the difference. Connecticut took 5 free throw attempts as a team, 5, which is insane. While Vegas took 19. At 3 times more free throws. They made 16 free throws to Connecticut's 3. And I think that was probably the difference, right?
Oh, I lied about Vegas too, but I think the refresh. Sorry, they shot 20% from three and 39% overall, which is absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, free throws completely saved them. 19-5, like that's just the determining factor there. And they have a lot of good free throw shooters, so Connecticut can't really afford to foul them like that, but they don't have a choice. And as far as players like Plum, lack of confidence. Complete lack of confidence. And you saw it after those first couple of games with that Seattle. You saw her kind of trend downwards, and her body language screams it. She's hesitating to shoot. You see her second guess open shots frequently now. I I also think that Becky has really enforced that Asia and Chelsea need to be the leaders here, and that's what we've seen them do. I, all year we saw Vegas really like be very balanced, but I think it's time to focus on those key core pieces for your team. Can't really afford to have streaky 3-point shooting and stuff like that now. As far as Connecticut, I mean, again, same thing. They're going to do what they do. They're going to play great defense. I don't see the Aces only scoring 67, but I don't see them scoring their usual 80 plus points either.
Right.
Just this, I mean, even with like that backcourt, Connecticut's long. They're a defensive. The paint's clogged up. That definitely prevents a lot of drives from Plum, from Jackie. It's just a long team. I just don't see where either team could have really done better. Besides the Aces just not turning the ball over a lot.
Yeah. So that's what Connecticut lives off of, right? Like they live off of transition points, off of turnovers, and then when they're not getting transition points, it's in their half court offenses feeding it down low and scoring in the paint. I saw a crazy stat on this game. Traditionally, Connecticut has been a really slow-paced team, and Vegas all year has been number one pace. But in this game, on average, Vegas had the ball per possession 15 seconds, and Connecticut had it 8 seconds, almost twice as less. They
Wow.
had the ball, and as a result, Connecticut took 74 field goals to Vegas's 58.
Makes sense though with
It
all
does.
the turnovers.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
exactly. That's what I was getting to. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what Connecticut is going to continue to do, is try to get those transition buckets. So I think Connecticut, even more so with their back against the wall tonight, is going to try to force turnovers even more so and try to get those transition points. So if you're interested in stock props for Connecticut, that would fit that game script and Kurt's game plan usually. So with that said, let's just dive right into Connecticut. Good, I love it. It's my favorite. They remind me so much of Miami Heat. No offense to Heat fans, I just it's
No,
just
all the offense.
prop betting.
All the offense to y'all.
So one thing I want to point out, going back to that 2-3 zone, and the Vegas is running. I saw some stuff on it, and Becky talking about it. They're basically running it whenever Connecticut goes big. So when Connecticut brings out the Twin Towers and they have Brianna Jones and JJ playing alongside each other, Vegas switches immediately to the 2-3 zone.
Mm.
So I think that's probably a big reason why Brianna Jones also only played 17 minutes. I think Vegas was so effective on that 2-3 zone and clogging the paint that Brianna Jones just was not needed. And Kurt decided for Connecticut they would just run their smaller unit more so. So her lines got nerfed down, but I know, Vince, you were on this since the last game and you're spot on. And I think the lines weren't nerfed as much as they were for her. I would love it, but I still think it can be considered as a fringe play. Oh, great. It went down even more so. Okay.
Yeah. They bumped that again. Mind you,
Perfect.
she was like 24 fantasy points like three games ago. So yeah, that's pretty nerfed.
Yeah, so last night when they opened on the board, she opened at 19 and a half. I believe on Sunday she was 20 and a half.
Mhm, 20 and a half.
Man, okay. Well, never mind. Just game script wise, it just makes total sense that she's not going to be a key factor in this matchup. Just the way that Vegas is playing defensively. Okay, well, before I go hand out to you guys, I'll just point out a couple that stood out to me. I think in a desperation game, must win, essentially. Got to go with AT, try hard. I think her rebound or her stocks, I could definitely consider here. Going back to what I said about Connecticut trying to force those turnovers for transition points. But I probably just lean rebounds more so just due to, like, I don't want to rely on stack heavers. I don't rely on, for whatever reason, she's just not getting it done with the steals. I think her rebounds have been the most consistent, and it just makes sense in this matchup with Vegas being so bad on the offensive rebound, on the offensive glass. They give up so many offensive rebounds, and AT is really good at snagging those offensive rebounds. So if I had to lean it, I'd say 1A her rebound and 1B would be her block steal. And then I think Bonner, we've seen it all season and playoffs when she is coming off a poor shooting night. Like, what was it, game 2 against Chicago, or game, I forget which, or
2, I
yeah,
believe.
she had 2 points just like on Sunday, and then came out and had a strong performance. That's just kind of how she is. Kurt finds a way to get her open with off ball screens and really focuses offense around her. So I think Connecticut, went to the film room and probably saw what Vegas was doing with their zone, and Kurt's going to probably try to come up with ways to get her more open, high percentage shots. So I think you could consider her points or fantasy, since she's been racking up the boards and the assists as well, which is really surprising. She's kind of eating into AT's assists playmaking role here. But I think it's just because how defenses have been treating her, focusing so much on her. She's playmaking more. So I would say her fantasy or her real points, I think, could be considered, but it's Bonner. nothing's guaranteed with her. And JJ, I'm just going to continue to stay away, but I get it if you want to go with their first half fantasy because that's when she's most effective, when she's not gassed and just completely running on E in the second half. What is your guys' thoughts? Start with you, Vince, and then finish off with Eric.
That's it, man. My whole goal today is to not play witches. I'm not trying to do it today, bro. We've been burned by Connecticut so many times, just trying to like guess which player is going to finally have a good game and who's going to finally start missing and who's going to miss out on minutes because of small ball. It's a wrap. I'm done. I'm done with that. But I do like AT though. I do love her rebounds. I think it's 10 over on underdog. So you can, slight discount here. Only a .5 juice. I think she's still good for like 11. Your point on the stocks. I do like her stocks, especially since she'll be on Asia a lot,
Yeah.
but it's in Vegas too. And we know Vegas stat keepers. So that's
Yeah.
also concerning.
Well, they actually they had her shadow Chelsea a lot. And Chelsea had 6 turnovers, and I think AT accounted for a lot of those.
Makes
So
sense.
I think since it worked so well, I mean, yes, Chelsea got her points, but Chelsea didn't only had 3 assists and really
Yeah.
struggled to get the offense going. So I don't see Connecticut changing that, and I think AT will continue to guard her. So
With that, I don't mind it as much because we know Chelsea can definitely throw that ball away for sure.
yeah.
But I definitely will lean rebounds over it just because it's just pure effort. And
Yeah.
that's what AT is. She's just intense and she's about effort. So
Yeah, I mean, look, she had 5 offensive rebounds. Going back to my thing about Vegas really bleeding offensive rebounds and
and
struggling on the offensive glass.
she's also safe too. Doesn't really matter what type of lineup the aces throw out there. They can throw small ball, they can run a huge lineup. Doesn't matter. They can run zone. I mean, AT will be out there. She's gonna try. She'll be efficient in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, I think that's probably my favorite core play from Connecticut. Core used very loosely.
Okay, I'm with you on that. Where do you stand, Eric? What is your core Connecticut play? If you're building a WNBA card only, and you obviously have to play one Connecticut core play.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be AT. I mean, just in this matchup alone, she's gone for 10 plus in every meeting so far. And like you said, it's one of those will to drive things. She wants to make it happen. I don't mind the stock prop. I think it's definitely in play. She's cleared that in all but one in the meeting so far. So if they're going to be focusing on defense a lot tonight and trying to trap and shut down Gray and I think even shutting down Gray, it's been hurting Jackie and her production as well because those two work together so well on the outside.
Yeah.
So I do feel like we get a little bit of a chess match here tonight on how they want to attack them defensively from Connecticut, and then how does Vegas want to try? Because we could even have a game. I hate to see it, but we could have Jackie in Plum's situation where she's just taking her defender off to nowhere land and sitting in the corner. We could definitely have that. So there's a couple of things, a couple of risk plays that we could have tonight, but the huge risk and the question mark on the slate is going to be how much Connecticut do you want to have a risk to, and then how confident on top of that are you going to be? We have to play something unless you're dipping into other sports or something like that. But I'm going to go with AT. I'll give a slight shout out to Heidemann because she's been stepping it up in the postseason, and I'll be the first to admit that I'm definitely a hater. But if she's going to be able to sink a couple of these, and not only the better production, but PrizePicks just completely reposted all of her lines. So if you want to go
you
back
like her points the most, or do you like her PRA or fantasy?
I think PRA or PA. I was really high on the PA going into last game. One, because she's cleared it in every previous meeting and has not at the previous line for the PRA. but I don't think that she's going to get 4 rebounds again. I think that was kind of an outlier, and especially with how little both Williams and Bonner got in that game,
Yeah.
I don't see that happening again.
That's a great point. Yeah.
We
I don't
also
see
have
that
to
again.
take into consideration the poor shooting percentages too for each team.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I
'Cause
mean,
she
that
was
was a lot more
getting
boards.
she was getting the missed shots from Williams, and that was where a lot of her
Mhm.
extra rebounds were coming from. So I think that the PRA, it looks good, but it's a little bit more taxed, and you need that third rebound if she's going to be right there on the line for the other 2 props.
To that point too, I wouldn't put it past Vegas if we saw a couple minutes less from Williams and saw them work back in Hamby a little more.
Man, Hamby was effective. 10 minutes.
She was
She was
good.
hooping.
Is
She
it
was,
is it just due to conditioning and injury she's not playing more? Because I don't know
yeah.
why Becky didn't go to her more. I mean, that 10 minutes she played, she was super effective when she was out there. So
So it was after a couple of the fast break plays. I forgot what quarter it was, but she really did look like her knee was bothering her. She
okay.
had trouble getting up, and I mean, she was still hustling, but you could tell like she had a little limp with it.
Yeah.
So I do think a lot of it's just due to conditioning. But when she's
Yeah.
out there, I mean, she's putting in work.
Yes, she was 7 on the plus minus,
Yeah.
which is the same as Asia and Chelsea, who carried the whole team. So yeah, she was definitely efficient when she was out there. Okay, so I mean, Eric, going back to your feelings on Connecticut props here, would you choose besides AT? We already like her for Connecticut, but would you choose Heidemann over Bonner, or would you say they're pretty equal in terms of their potential?
I think they're pretty equal, not only for their potential, but just because PrizePicks didn't really adjust their lines that much compared to really everyone else who made an impact on the slate from this last game. So they've been kind of up and down with Touch and Bonner's props because it seems like they either repost them or they overcompensate one way or the other. So I like the theory that you brought up, with her not having back-to-back poor games, and Connecticut's really survived on the back of, honestly, one extra player, because it's been Alyssa Thomas and one other person, whether that's, Heidemann or Bonner, or we've had, a couple Williams games, but somebody else needs to step in behind that, and that's what is really killing them. But it actually saved them this last game that they had Heidemann. She hit 10 points and kept them in this game. But somebody else has to step up, and it can't be, Heidemann or Williams. It needs to be one of these core pieces for either JJ or Bonner. Like, a leader needs to lead.
Right. Yeah, going to Bonner's it's like a staircase if you ever look at her graphs, but it's if you look at it, this is in the regular season, she had 19 points, 8 points, 19 points, 9 points, 20 points, 9 points, 12 points, 23 points, 12 points, 9, 18, and then 13, and then 9, and then she had, I believe, in that game 1, she had quite a bit. It's just like it's just
It's
up
like
and down.
clockwork, man.
Yeah.
It's like clockwork.
And her assist rating is all over the place too. If you take a look at that, so
And like if you go back to that game, she blew a lot of easy shots too. If you go back to that game, like a lot of just
Threes.
layups, yeah, threes and layups just rimming in and out. Like she's gonna get the fall,
Well, and then
Did
she
y'all-
hit the side of the backboard too.
and she had the side
Yeah.
of that
She was fouled, though.
board. Yeah.
Did y'all see the final shot, like the one that
Yeah.
she totally could have had? I mean, that was the ugliest shot I have ever seen.
She waited
for a
too long.
clutch. Yeah, I mean, she second guessed herself
Yeah.
and then leaned away from the defender to draw the foul. Like leaned away from it. The person jumped on top of her, and then she sidesteps and takes this like awkward, almost a one-handed shot. It was so ugly.
Oh my
It
God.
almost airballed.
Yeah, it was bad. Okay, well, is there anything else for Connecticut? I mean, before we catch up with chat, I mean, my feelings on JJ. She barely got over that 14.5. She finished with 15. She caught like a last second alley-oop to end the first half. It was like literally like at the last second she got it, and then she opens the second half of the 3. you take those away. I mean, she's definitely going under. But her shot volume was way up in this matchup. I mean, she took 15 shots. I mean, she was second to AT. And that's because how the defense treated Bonner. So.
Well, she had 6 offensive rebounds, so she was
Yeah.
6 putbacks right there.
Now that's what scares me about her. If you want to consider unders, is that she has offensive rebound potential because it's Vegas and they don't work the glass that well and give up offensive rebounds. So I'm probably just gonna stay away. But I would say, like going back to what I said, when she has when she starts the game and she has all the energy, she's gonna get those offensive rebounds. She probably is gonna pick up 1 or 2 stocks, at least in the first half. At least one, I would feel like. And the first half fantasy is still at 15.5. So I don't know if you're searching for props. I get it. What did she have? What did she finish with? Like 21 in the first half or something like that?
Yeah, it was something right over that. And most of it was in scoring too. Just to kind of hit onto that point with her, if you look at her 3-point attempts too, she actually has a spike in this series.
Yeah.
And we've seen a lot of that in the first half too, when she's feeling herself or feeling real energetic. Some of the first couple of shots have been from actually beyond the arc. And kind of segue to that for, I think, a fringe prop, 2 different fringe props we could do. They reposted the starter 3 points made at 1. And between now Heidemann, her, and Bonner, I think that this could be a potential prop for us. And we know that teams attack Vegas when possible from beyond the arc. So at 1, I think it's not a bad play. I mean, we just need 1 at least for a push. But I'll give a small shout out to Little Boy in her first half or full game fantasy. I mean, she always does us dirty anytime I'm ever high on her. So I'll be low on her tonight, and she's going to have 14 points in the first half.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Wait, what? Wow. Wow. His PRA is 7.5.
Yeah.
That's insane. I mean, yeah, her PRA is, I mean, that's crazy, man.
And they actually nerfed her full game fantasy again, and they didn't touch the first half props. So that's kind of a little weird.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
all right.
so
So
low.
give context for people who haven't been following WNBA this season. She always lived around the 10.5 PRA range, 10.5 to 11.5 sometimes, depending on the matchup and how she's been doing. So I mean, that's a huge difference in terms of PRA. I think I wouldn't surprise me if she bounces back in this game. We saw how that went against Chicago. But you never know, right? She's just like Bonner. I mean,
yeah. And so far in the series, she's been able to get a stock, and she had it this last game too, but she's been able to get at least a stock in the first half for this meeting. So
sure, would you lean the fantasy if you had to pick one?
Yeah, she only missed us by literally 1 point and still shot 1 for 6. So any other thing would have got us there this last game.
Yeah, her and Bonner shot terrible.
And she has so many first half minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I could see her getting like 2 or 3 rebounds, couple assists, and she just needs some points. And then if she gets a stock, she's easily clearing it. Okay, so if you had to choose, because I wouldn't play both these together, would you choose JJ or Court's first half fantasy?
I think honestly, Courtney, for 2 reasons, or for a couple of reasons. One, we're not 100% sure what defensive scheme Vegas is going to run on us. They could switch that up. And also, if JJ gets in first half foul trouble, coach will pull her immediately. And I think that also just kind of lastly that Williams, she's been fairly consistent all season for the first half production.
Yeah.
And that I feel better about her not shooting 1 for 6. I mean, we literally just needed 1.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, games 1 and 2 of Chicago, right?
Yeah.
But no,
Don't put it past her.
Yeah, I mean, but she fills the stat line. Like if she, I mean, if
Yeah.
she doesn't score, she's gonna do other things. So, I'm with you on that. Man, I don't know. I made a rule not to play her again this season.
That's just so low, though.
It's just so low.
That's so low.
But this is the time, Vince. This is like that low hanging fruit, and you grab it and you think you're good, and it's totally rotten, forbidden. What are you gonna do? You gonna play it, Vince?
He's trying to snatch me back in.
He is.
I can't do it. I can't. Okay, one card. I'll get one card with him.
All right.
So
well,
I'll say if we're building more than like 2 or 3 picks, me personally,
Yeah.
I'm probably just going to keep a tight core tonight, run some 2-3 picks,
okay.
live to fight another day on a better
Yep.
slate. But I mean, if you're running, 4 or 5, we'll open up a couple props that maybe could get on the list.
The brighter side is that after we get through this, we probably won't have to play a whole lot of Connecticut anyway. So, but in case you do want to, I'm not mad at that. It's low. I mean, one for 6 shooting, and
And
still
she only
missed by
had 2
one.
rebounds. Yeah.
Yeah, and still missed by one. I think you have to take that,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially if
I'm with it.
she'll double the minutes. Like,
Yeah. All right. Wait, you guys talked me onto it. This is it. But this is it. This is the last time.
This is it. This is it.
Yeah.
In chat-
Everything below
I mean,
AT
true.
is getting minimal exposure today.
God.
Eric talked us right back into it.
I'll do it in one card. Why not? Chat,
One
let us know
time.
what you think. What you guys are gonna do. Seeing that, let's catch up with them. Unless did you guys have any other Connecticut props?
Nah, I mean, I was really done after Alyssa, but
Me too.
fill some time and
Yeah.
help everyone out.
I love it. Hey, what up, Matt? Let's go Taco Tuesday. Yeah, thank you for reminding me. We'll get to that and when we get to Vegas for sure. What up, Io? Live fighter Prosper should be an interesting evening. I think that's an accurate statement. You're not wrong. Whenever Connecticut's on the slate, that's very
Yeah.
true. Jason said, "Perfect way to spend my drive home from work." What's up, fam? Hey, yeah,
Hey.
glad we could be there with you, man. Jermaine, welcome back, fellas. Hope everyone had a good and proper weekend. Yeah, football's been fun so far. Looking forward to going forward, and we'll probably set up a stream for Thursday if everyone's down. Cover the Thursday night game, which is going to be hopefully live up to its hype, Chiefs and Chargers, and then we'll cover some Sunday plays too.
We got game 3 on Thursday too.
Oh wow, yeah, Thursday's gonna be slammed. Okay.
Sheesh.
So yeah, build up some bankroll for Thursday. Cash Millions, will the prop list be up before the taco ends? When does the taco end?
50 minutes.
Why is it?
I mean,
Why so soon? The game doesn't start till 6.
They're gonna
9.
squeeze in another taco. Yeah.
What baseball?
They already did a baseball, so they'll probably do like soccer, tennis, or
Yeah.
something.
But that one Taco Tuesday they did 2 baseball, didn't they?
They did, but people were pissed about it, and they were
Oh,
already calling them out on Twitter about it.
Okay, so yeah, it'll be soccer or CS:GO or something. It would be dope if they give us Euro, but
Oh man, they gave us Euro. It's a wrap.
yeah. Jermaine, are the finals best of 5 or 7? Best of 5. So this is an important game. Pretty much must win in my opinion. Young family, let's hit on these bets. Yeah, let's do it, man. What up, John? Let's go, squad. ECW, what up, my dude? Smash that like button. Yeah, appreciate that. Jeffrey said Eric looks stoned. he's got Sykes stash, Brittany Sykes stash. Hey, what up, Lorenza? Love AT stocks. Makes sense, man. I mean, both her stocks and rebounds, those are stat lines that are hustle lines, right? Like motivation, and that's what she is. He said, I like Bree points today, Lorenza. Okay.
Ooh, she'll hook you to death.
He will. But is it back at 11.5?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's under 12.
Okay.
Which is nice.
Don't sleep on young man first half PRA, Lorenzo. Yeah. Went over that. Patel, Courtney over PR. Thoughts on this? I think we're kind of all in agreement that we like our first half potential more so, but if you don't like first half props, the PR would make sense because I mean that's her specialty is rebounding. What do they have it at? 13.5. So yeah, I mean you're hoping she gets 10 points and 4 boards. I mean, 4 boards is realistic. The 10 points is what scares me.
We're getting a discount on all the doubled up props for her. So like the points and rebounds and all that are normal, but her PR is 0.5 discount, and then I think her fantasy score is really discounted right now. It's like 17 and a half.
17.5, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
She can get them turnovers, so it's a
Yeah.
little risk.
Jeremy Williams, man, almost airball, bro. It seemed like Bonner airballed like 3 shots. It's not surprising. It's Bonner, man.
Her form is so ugly, man.
It's ugly.
It's awful.
She's no Simone. Jeremy Williams, Courtney's big bro. All right. Fraley said will there be a card of the top 5 today at the end of the stream? Yeah, we're gonna do WNBA only, and then we'll do WNBA plus Euro card. Harry said, "Did y'all pick my wife's fantasy score yet?" Is that Asia? If so, yes, we're gonna pick it. Yeah, I appreciate that. ECW smash unders on the team props. It's Rob Johnny for NFL. Harry, Asia Wilson, Taco. Yep. Fume said I've been taking Bonner turnovers so she can keep going. Yeah, it's definitely tempting, but again, Vegas, they just don't force that many turnovers, and I mean, you saw that. I mean, what as a team, Connecticut only had 7 turnovers. No, I don't think any of the Connecticut players cleared their turnover props either, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, it could very well change tonight. Don't get me wrong, but that's just not Vegas's wheelhouse.
Well, Williams was the only one, but I mean, she had 4 fouls.
Yeah.
Could be a little different this game if we see Gray rack up a couple more stocks. I don't know if she had any that last game.
And she had
she's
0.
been and she's been a little more active on defense, so maybe a couple more turnovers for Connecticut, but not in love with Connecticut turnovers either.
Yeah. What up, Obi? Jay Smooth said third taco is looking like you, Darvish. So they don't care. Price's like, yeah, you guys don't like it. We don't care. All right. Okay, so yeah, I don't know if we're gonna be able to. We'll try to breeze through Vegas, and then we'll try to get. I mean, our list should be pretty short and condensed. So, and then you'll probably by the time when we're done with the stream, you'll have a good idea what the list is going to be based on our on ongoing lists right here. So, that give you an idea for if you're looking for plays for the taco. But with that said, let's dive into Vegas. I think we're all in agreement that Asia is probably the prime target to go with again. In this matchup, she absolutely destroyed game 1. And I think we're probably just gonna have to mix in different props for her because there's so many props that are favorable in this matchup for her. Both her stocks and her free throws made, just due to how physical they are and how much they're fouling her in the paint. And then also Connecticut relying on scoring in the paint so much that just increases the block potential for her. And Eric has some stats on that. I'll let him go over for her history with her stocks against Connecticut. And then just her overall scoring. I mean, if you just want to encompass all that, just go with her fantasy. If we know she's going to get the stocks, we know she's going to get the free throws. So that means she's going to get done scoring, and her rebounding is always going to be live. It's always going to be there. So yes, it's gone up. It was at 42.5, and now it's up to 44.5. But I mean, she's just been crushing that because again, she's leading the team in minutes. She's playing almost the entire game ever since the playoffs started, and minutes equal money in fantasy and prop betting. So I love her fantasy too. So fantasy stocks, free throws, I'm going to spread out the exposure. And then before I hand it off, Chelsea Gray, she shot lights out, but again, she struggled to really play make and get the offense set up. Probably due to AT's defense. I mean, she shot at one point, she was like 6 of 8 or something like that. She wasn't missing. Ended up 9 of 17, 21 points. Her PRA is at 31.5. if you think AT is going to continue to give her problems, which wouldn't be surprising, it's Connecticut and their defense, they like to muck things up. So if you want to go under, that's a very high line at 31.5. I wouldn't be mad at it, but her turnovers, I think, is probably the most ideal here at 2, since Plum is taking a back seat and basically just dribbling down, passing it off to Chelsea and running away. Chelsea is going to handle the ball pretty much every possession, and that just increases turnover potential here. And we know Connecticut will force them with Bonner and AT and others. So I would probably put her turnovers first, and then maybe consider as a secondary play her under 31.5 PRA. And then I'll let you guys decide on Plum. Me personally, I mean, I love her. I loved her all season long, but I want to first see her gain her confidence back and have one good game before I get back on her props. In my opinion, for prop betting, it's too risky. So I'm gonna stay away, but I'm curious to see what you guys think. And then I'm gonna let you guys talk to me about Jackie, because I know her first half is appealing, but other than that, I don't know what to do with her either. I mean, but it makes sense that with Plum, if Plum's gonna continue to take a back seat and her confidence is low, Jackie's needed big time. So start with you, Eric. What you want to go over the Asia stock stats that you dug up?
Yeah. So still continued streak for Vegas. They are 24-2 whenever Asia scores 20 or more points. You know, they struggled this last game, but she got over 20 points and they won. So she's going to be the focal point in the offense. I love that. Fantasy score is a little bit juiced now, but her ceiling, I mean, she can drop a 50 burger on any given night. And to, I think, hedge for that, her stocks are a phenomenal play today. I was actually surprised that we didn't get the stocks bumped, and they did bump the free throws. So that was a little interesting to see. But man, she's a stock machine. So far for the season, whenever she's playing 30 or more minutes, she's cleared this prop in 25 of 29 games. In the series so far, she's either pushed or cleared in every meeting or every game versus Connecticut. And to start the postseason, she has cleared this in the last 6 of 7 games. The only one that she missed was going up against Bree Turner, who we know doesn't turn the ball over, and she only played like 24 or 26 minutes because they thumped them and she didn't have to play the fourth. So me personally, I love her stocks today, especially at 3. I think it's so safe, at least for a floor push, but sky's the limit, and that'll kind of hedge you for her fantasy score too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love it. I mean, yeah, Connecticut's, they're gonna force the ball inside. And I mean, if you saw that game, she was the general of the team, and she was the one getting him motivated and had all the energy for Vegas. Carried him on her back. So, what about her free throws? Are you guys? I mean, it makes complete sense since she's the focal point in the offense, and we know JJ hacks, we know Bree hacks. Are you guys just worried, just putting your money on the refs to make the calls? But we just know she crushes this at home too.
Yeah. So for me personally, I think I'll have a hefty amount of her stocks, then her fantasy, and then exposure to her free throws as well, just to not put all the eggs in the one basket. But I love her today. I think it starts and ends with her.
Yeah.
What about you, Vince?
Completely agree. I know first glance for me it was her fantasy. I mean, you really just can't go wrong with that. They were saying during the game last time, maybe this was the post game, that like she has been preparing her body for this. Like that's why she's been able to play so many minutes. Like you saw her being limited throughout the regular season. She's been training her body intensely to get through these high intense minutes, and it's working. Like she's effective, she's efficient, and she's intense out there. I can't even. For me, it really depends on like what type of sweat I want, right? So if I want something that I think can probably clear like the first half, then I'll probably go free throws. But I'm also cool with the marathon game and just playing out the whole 40 minutes and getting past that 44 fantasy points too. So I'm kind of leaning that just to throw a blanket. We know she'll be productive. We know she's going to do it all. So don't really want to limit myself, but I think it'll be fantasy first, then stocks, then free throws.
I'm with it.
I can get behind it. I mean, we've gotten 4 quarters of play all season, so there's
Yeah.
no reason to think that that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what do you guys think about Jackie's first half points and PRA? Points is it's so low.
It feels like I'm playing the young man again.
Mhm.
Like it's so tempting and so low, but I don't know. I
She's gotta feel herself, man. I mean, the
yeah,
volume's there, and going back, I was looking at the play-by-play for all, I think, 4 games they played this season, and 2 of the games she's hooked at 5, but she also had, I believe, 6 and 7 field goal attempts in that game. So, I mean, the volume is there. She just needs to settle back down and start. I think she needs to be a little more choosy about her shot selection
yeah.
and stop just trying to run up and make the shot as soon as possible. Like, take a second.
Yeah. We definitely saw her multiple times, especially starting off the game, like really rush a lot of shots.
Hmm.
Either try to force it into the paint when there just wasn't enough space, or she just rushed a little mid range or a three and it was just way off. I was like, you got to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she took 6 field goals in the first half. That game 1.
That's
I'm
probably
looking.
around her average, like 6 or 7.
Kelsey
Yeah.
took. Wait, Kelsey did not take a field goal in the first quarter. Are you kidding? No, she did. She took 1. It's insane. Do you guys remember that Vegas game against Seattle? Plum was coming off a pretty bad game, then 2, and then it seemed like Becky came up with a game plan to get Plum cooking early, and was feeding. Everything was focused around screens and getting Kelsey drives to the basket, and I think she had like same amount of points in the first half, and then just kind of died off in the second half from there. But it seemed like she was like game scripted in the first half to get her going. It could be a
That was
possibility.
recent, right?
Yeah. I think it was
Yeah.
like
Yeah, it was against Chicago when everyone said I was crazy for taking under on her points in BA, and she had like 15 points in the first half, and
it's
then
against
nada.
Seattle. Yeah.
Or Seattle, yeah.
Yeah. She went off in the first half and then did nothing in the second half. I'm just throwing it out there. That it's a possibility in range of outcome where that she could get game scripted in, and maybe Jackie loses out on some shot volume in the first half. It would just kind of make me nervous because I just have this feeling that Becky is gonna want to get, knowing that Kelsey is the X factor, and like if she gets going, it's a wrap, right? Like, so I just have this feeling
Yeah.
that Becky's like, the best way to get her going is get her confidence going early, set up plays where she can get easy buckets, layups, which they did in that Seattle game. That's my only concern. And something I could see happening, but who knows? Everything could stay the same.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
did see that Young, she had more attempts than Plum ended up with overall in the game too. So that could flip, or maybe Jackie gets hot and Plums goes down even further, and we could see an assist spike for her.
Yeah.
This is the problem with having such a balanced team, just full of talent,
Yeah. It is.
which is good for them because they can plan game scripts for each game of the series and get someone hot. But for us, it's not ideal. I think the most confidence will just be going right after those people who you know are going to have the ball, they're going to have usage, and they're going to get it done.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Jackie and
Too
Plummer,
volatile.
you never know.
Yeah. This is the game. Yep. Against Seattle, she had 10 points. She took like 5. Yeah, she took 5 shots, 2 threes, 3 field goals in the first quarter,
Sheesh.
and then went on to take 2 more. And that's the same quarter stint. So 3. Yeah, she took 8 total shots in the first half. How many did Jackie end up with? 1. Jackie took 4 shots.
4. Yeah.
See, that's what scares me.
Yeah. And we've seen that switch off
Yep.
multiple times. We've been burned by it multiple times too. I think if it's not a bad play, but the only thing I can go with confidence today is Gray and Asia. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, and she only took 3 shots, but she cleared that 5.5 because she made 3. So you gotta hope she makes her threes. What's your level of confidence on it, Eric? Are you playing? Are you having high exposure? I mean, it makes sense, but
A fair amount of exposure between that and the PRA because they didn't bump it either. It's still under 10.
is it 9.5?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you guys rank Chelsea above her?
Maybe for the prop because I think we love that 2 turnover prop.
Right, that's what I'm speaking.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what
yeah.
I'm referring to.
Probably not over it. Not for me.
Okay.
Postseason Chelsea has just been a whole totally different monster, and if Connecticut's going to work on that turnovers today, then she's going to have the ball in her hand a ton.
Yep. Any other prop you like for her, or is the turnover it?
I think you could consider her fantasy under again.
Yeah.
She got a little close with the PRA last time, but she's not really racking up too many stocks in this matchup.
Yep.
And they left the stock prop up actually small consideration for under on the stocks as well. She's got to get 3 in this matchup, and she's really struggled to do that in the history for the season.
Yeah, she's so focused on offense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I played her under fantasy game 1 and it worked out. It was at 38.5.
Yeah.
So I mean, it only went down 2. Okay, what about any other Vegas props?
I got to give a little shout out to Plum. Maybe that 3-point or her free throws. Just one of those low bar props that she could fall into.
What's her free throws at 3?
Yeah, 3.
Yeah. And I'll say if we think that she just continues to do the same, I know there's a risk that Becky tries to get her more involved, but ultimately a lot of that will probably come off of someone setting her up, most likely coming off of screens and whatnot. I don't mind her under 2 turnovers.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
mad
thought
at
about
it.
it.
I'm not mad at it. I think for what they're asking her to do now in the playoffs,
She's a spot shooter.
she's a spot shooter. Yep, and that's just she's not going to get three turnovers like that.
Yep.
Unless she really starts driving in the paint, and even then, she'll be more likely to get fouled than get stripped, most
Right.
likely.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I like all those calls, and these are all low lines for her, so you don't have to sweat like a really high total for her in case her role is still the same. I like all those. I definitely looked at that last night. It just made me scared because it's just like sometimes she just has like some random dumb turnover for no reason. I will say what I've learned over the years of just like watching basketball film and trying to break it down, especially for playoff series. When you watch a game, don't focus so much on what's working in the game. Focus on like what could be. Like what okay, if this changed, what could be the result and what could happen. Because sometimes in a playoff series, sometimes it's just, true mismatches, and you're gonna have something that just works the entire series, like Chelsea Gray against Seattle. That's just standard. But there's other things that just change game to game in a series because of adjustments, and if you just watch the film and you're like, oh, this player is going off, they're going to do it again the next game, or this player played terrible and getting shut down, they're not going to do anything the next game. The coaches adjust. They'll make changes to get a player open or make it work for them. So the reason I'm bringing this up, I mean, it's just something to consider for Plum. If you're on the fence about her, it's just like at some point, things are going to change, and we saw that happen. Becky made it happen for her against Seattle in the first half of that last game. So just want to throw that out there. Every game is different in the series, and things change. So But I'm just nervous, and I just want to see one solid game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, with that, let's do a just a full 5-pick WNBA, and then let's do a WNBA Euro card. And while we do that, we'll kind of go over quickly why we like those Euro plays. So all right, Eric, you want to start us off?
Yeah. Let's let Vince start it off because I always
Okay.
seem to grab his number one.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
I mean, the pool we have, it won't be hard either. All right, I'm gonna stick with my gut, Asia.
What do you
All
want?
in.
Fantasy, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All in.
I hope it hits, man, because I got so much writing on it.
Me too, man.
Okay, Eric.
I guess the next obvious play, Alyssa with the 9 rebounds, 9.5.
I admire that you took one for the team by going with the Connecticut prop. You know, I will say, like, we are haters of Connecticut just because they're so bad for prop betting, but like in playoffs, and especially finals, like when a team's back against the wall, they're like the most ideal to target. It's just unfortunately it's Connecticut, but yeah, you always want to target teams and players when it's a must win. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least it's not like Washington.
yeah, right,
That'd be a
right,
mess.
right. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'll go with I'll go with Grace turnovers.
All right, so all the top plays are officially off the board.
Get yourself some young men here.
Oh gosh, please don't do it to me.
I mean, you could run this back with, say, like Plums under turnovers.
Yeah, I was just thinking that too. That was the exact correlation I had in my head.
I like it.
All right, Eric.
Little man or no little man?
Well, the question is, do you want Jackie's first half points or Courtney's first half fantasy?
I know that's gonna be what's the question that's gonna get me in trouble tonight.
What's your gut saying? Or what was your first initial lean when you were breaking down the slate, researching?
I mean, honestly, I loved Courtney the other day, even though she burned us. So that's the first and only game in the last 4 years that she has missed that prop on.
Let's do it.
Let's do
Yeah,
it.
let's go back.
It's a large sample size.
The first time she didn't clear it in the first quarter at that.
Sheesh. Okay.
And if you don't like the turnover props, you can easily switch in Jackie's first half points too. If you want to do a couple cards if you're following along and looking for plays, I could definitely get behind that. And if this works out, you're sitting pretty good after the first half because 2 of your 5 have already hit. So something you want to do, and you can either go Plums under turnovers or Grays over turnovers with that one.
And you could put Asia Taco in over the fantasy here if you want to build like that.
Yep. Good point. Okay, so for this one, let's go with our mixed card. Let's go with Asia's stocks since we want their fantasy. And then what was the other core one? Do we want to go with AT's stocks instead of a rebound? Or we can just core the same ones we like. It's just now we're adding Euro.
I'm not mad at either one. I mean, I definitely lean rebounds for AT for sure.
Or we don't have to play her at all, and we can just play 2 Vegas and 2 Euro.
I love the sound of that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, what second Vegas prop do we want? Do we want Jackie's first half, or do we want go back to Gray's turnovers?
I really like Plum's free throws tonight, man. I think there's something about it. Looking at that breakdown when I was talking about with her 3 points on the decline and her drives and inside the paint production. I mean, she's
All
had
right.
4+ attempts in every post game so far, or postseason game so far.
I'm with it. I'm with it. Kind of spreads out our exposure too, which is kind of nice. You don't want to go too heavy on one. Okay, Euro. We have the
Euro.
other two games of the quarterfinals. After this games tomorrow morning, we are headed to the semifinals. And with Euro, we're in the elimination round. It's one game elimination, winner go home. So expect big minutes from starters here. And desperation, we just saw Giannis play big minutes and try his best, and he got ejected. But he almost got a triple dub, did his thing scoring, and that's why we got to go to our boy Luka. Luka, if you don't already know, cares so much about Eurobasket. He is all about his homeland. And as a result, I mean, if you look at his last 3 or 4 games, he's had 35, 47, 36 points. He's doing it all. He's taking 10 plus threes a game, which is norm for him with the Mavs, right? But yeah, I mean, he's and Poland is their defense is nothing to be scared of. It's actually really bad. But on the opposite side, Slovenia has one of the worst defenses, and they've been open about this since the start of the tournament, the Eurobasket tournament. They said, we don't care about defense. We're not going to play defense. We're just going to outscore our opponents. And as a result, all their opponents have scored at least 80 points or more.
Sheesh.
Some 90 points or more, and some of the teams aren't that good. But they don't care. Slovenia's just outscoring them because they have Luka, they have Dragic, they have players who can really step up and get the scoring done. So I think just don't overthink it.
Yeah.
What's the spread on that game, Vince? Do we have a spread yet?
Ooh, I can pull it up real quick.
All right. While you do that, I will say, and then I'm gonna hand it off to Vince. Another play on the
Ooh,
opposite side.
wow.
What is
Is it really? Okay, 14.
Yeah, see, Poland is not good. But I will say this. Every single game that Slovenia has been in, pretty much, it's been like a 10-point spread or higher.
Yeah, it's been fairly close. Just
But
because the
every
lack of
game is
defense.
every game has been close.
Yeah, and they have an implied total of 176. That's going to be a track meet, bro. I
Yeah,
mean, that's just going to be offense galore, rebounds and offense galore.
Yeah. So yeah, Slovenia plays at such a fast pace and gets so many shots up. That's so high, man. I mean, to give you reference, you gotta remember this is a 40-minute game. Give you reference, most of these games have like a 155 to 160 implied total, so it's a huge total. I wouldn't be scared of blowout. They were 15-point favorites in their last matchup, and it ended up going pretty much stayed close and all the way till the end.
I really wouldn't take high spreads very seriously now,
Yeah,
especially after what we saw the last slate too. I mean, I think we had 2 games that were like, what, 12-point spread, maybe like a 14-point spread too, and both of them ended up being super close games and just
yeah.
prop gold mines. So
Oh yeah.
these teams are
It's worth
playing
the
to
risk.
stay. Yeah, these teams are playing to stay, and they're gonna go all out.
Oh yeah. So talk to me on early leans that you have besides Luka.
I think we were talking about, and if I butcher his name, that's on me, but Panitka,
Uh-huh.
his assist.
Yep.
Oh yeah. He hasn't cleared super regularly throughout the qualifiers and the group play, but his minutes are going to be up. He's one of the focal points to like their offense, and he's definitely well, yeah, he is the primary playmaker for sure. Probably has like a 9 to 10 assist upside, could easily double it. That's what we've really been hunting too, is that a lot of these people are mispriced for the upside they have. And the ones that are priced for like that floor, you want to hop on them for sure, especially now during elimination games. And with Slovenia just being that bad on a defense and for such a high implied total, most of those points, well, not most, but a good portion of those points will probably come from his production, whether that's scoring or assists. So
Yeah, and he plays big minutes. He's a key
yeah,
starter. Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Um, okay, and then as a fifth play, um, I'm on the fence. Do we stick with our boy, the Italian stallion Simone? Has probably one of the cleanest shot forms I've seen in a while. And his step back, all his motion is just so pure. And he's so efficient. I mean, he gets it done in
So
limited amount of
efficient, bro.
shots.
So efficient.
He's a tough matchup though, but
Yeah.
I will say that Luca just dropped 47 on France. So,
It
and
is Luca though.
it is
It is
Luca.
Luca.
He dunked on Gobert, but France. I mean, yeah, but in this whole tournament, France has been a stout defense, and good reason. You know, it's Gobert. I mean, he's clogging up the paint. And yeah, I mean, they overall have pretty solid defenders. Yabu is a good defender, so
Yeah.
I I don't know. They didn't adjust his points. We've been targeting him when it's an 18.5. He barely got it over last game
Oh, he
against
got over like last second, man. Like
yeah,
he clutched it up.
he did.
He clutched it up.
And it was against
But
Serbia, Jokic and company. Do we want him or do we want to stack this Poland Slovenian game and go with like a Poland player like
Soko?
Soko or Slaughter? Soko's interesting to me. I mean, his line,
Yeah.
in my opinion, should be at 11.5. I mean, he's
Yes.
going to play 35 minutes. He's going to take about 9 to 10 shots. So
Completely. The only thing that scares me about AJ is that he's just so inconsistent.
he is a streaky
I
shooter. Yep.
I think he missed last game. I don't have his game logs up now. I'm pretty sure he missed last game, but we know that usually every other game he's good for like a 20 point plus game. It helps that it's a high implied total and it's against a horrible defense. That takes away some concern from me. But when you brought up Soko before stream, I had to like look at him quickly. The minutes are so consistent. The
Mhm.
shot attempts are there. He gets to the line. That's also one thing I've been looking a lot for too. Is like if they can't get it done scoring, shooting, can they at least get to the line?
Right.
And we've seen him at least get maybe about 3 free throws a game. A couple games he has 0, but still, I just 10.5 seems really low. I think you're right. I think it should definitely be 11.5, maybe even 12.
Yep.
And the biggest thing about Euro is that you just want to find the best value possible. Again, you want to target those people who they're priced for their floor and priced for blowouts.
Yep. Yep. Um, I mean, I would say like other honorable mentions because we're probably gonna tonight when we dive into this more. When we're making Euro only cards,
Mm.
probably want exposure to Simone and Melly.
I was going to say Melly, the hedge against Simone.
Yeah, probably play them both in separate cards just
Yeah.
due to the potential. What's the total on that game? It's like 162.
No, it went down. I think 158.5.
I was about to guess 158. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
4 point spread.
It's a France effect. They play a slow pace, focus on defense. So
How do you feel about them dropping Yabu's points? The minutes are kind of scary to me.
yeah, I mean, we were scared of Dorsey's minutes, and I kept saying like, why is his minutes down? He's like so efficient, and Yabu's such a important part of their team. I feel like defensively and offensively at times. I mean, he's an NBA player. I mean, he's on the NBA. He's in the NBA, right? So,
Yeah.
man, I don't know. I've been staying away from France all tourney.
That's smart.
Just because of the pace they run and the defense and shutting down other teams. I get it if you're looking for it. But besides Millie and Simone, were there any other props besides points that you liked or were thinking about? I thought you were looking at some. You like Toby's rebounds, right?
Fringy. Seems fringy to me. I would feel better about it if it wasn't against Slovenia. If it wasn't in like that matchup, I would feel a lot better. It's just, well, sorry, against Poland. Just two awful teams. I mean, there's probably gonna be a lot of bricks going up from Poland side, especially. I just, I don't know. It feels kind of risky. It's right there on that edge. His ceiling is like 8 or 9 boards. So, I definitely he can go under, but I'm probably gonna stay away this time. I think it was more ideal the last slate.
Yeah, man. Yeah, rebounds are so volatile with
Yeah.
Euro. Especially for centers, they take so many threes. The 3-point line is a lot shorter, or not a lot, but it is shorter than NBA 3-point line. So it makes it even more ideal to shoot threes, and that's just the Euro way. They just take a lot of threes in EuroLeague. So those long rebounds results in more variance in rebound targets and who's getting them, and hurts centers too. I get it if like people want to go to Gobert,
Yeah.
because in traditional NBA he's at 14.5. His prop line usually can get up to 15.5, but that's with a 48-minute game. You got 40 minutes, and you got teams taking more threes.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna avoid. What about assists? Any other assists, and then we'll close out and get this list out.
Honestly, not really. I think you can play Slaughter's assist. It's okay. It's not anything that I'm in love with. I think if you have too much of Panicka and you don't want to play AJ's points, it's possible. He's been pushing or clearing pretty regularly, but again, he's a shooter, he's a scorer. So just kind of keep that in mind too. Is that
Yeah.
really don't want to target assists for scores.
Yeah, and the same thing applies for Simone.
Yeah.
Both of them at times have shown they can clear the assist line, but yeah, it's just the unknown, and more likely they're going to shoot than pass. It just depends on the play and the situation. Okay, yeah, that's a mixed card. Kind of a quick breakdown on the Euro, and Vince has been really grinding it. So he's been providing his list in our Discord. If you want to, if you're not part of Discord, join in. He'll have his list up probably sometime tonight, right? Imagine.
Always ready to be canceled. Yep. He'll be upset.
We've been killing it, man. It's been fun. The grind has been worth it. Yeah, and we're at a perfect time with it getting close to semifinals and games actually mattering, not dealing with group play. So get on that. Let's catch up a chat. Eric, did you have anything? Have you looked at it at all, or?
Nah, honestly, I'm following you guys.
Okay.
Been diving into a lot of NFL stuff.
Yeah.
Really trying to get that tackle list for us tight.
I feel you.
We are stretched thin now.
Yeah. Especially Thursday, man. Jeez.
Oh man, it's been tough this past week.
Yeah, I think there's disc golf this week too.
Oh wow.
Okay. Jermaine, best show on YouTube. Hey, appreciate that, man. Out here for you guys. I love chopping it up with Vincent, Eric, and Cade when he's on. Guys, you do this for the NBA as well when it comes back. I like your breakdowns live. Oh,
yeah.
Do we?
It's gonna be so much fun.
That's our bread and butter, man. I mean, if we're having this much success with Euro and WNBA, just wait for NBA. This is just the tip of the iceberg.
Or like we actually have data.
Yeah. Jermaine said Asia PRA or Block Seal. I imagine. Are you asking about the Taco shoot up PRA? If you are, I would say yeah. Taco makes total sense, getting a discount. But if you're asking just full price PRA versus Block Steal, I would probably lean Block Steal. And if I'm not playing the Block Steal, I'd probably just go with the fantasy instead of the PRA, so I can encompass the Block Steal potential as well. Harry said, "What happened with Kelsey Plum?" Yeah, shooters, man. When it gets in their head, they got to shoot their way out, which she could. Get money, hustle, the female LeBron. Let's go. I guess we're talking about Asia or Courtney. Million said after the injury, she hasn't been the same. Exit said, are 3-pick flex plays a good strategy to build your bankroll, or is that a waste of time because of the low payout? I'm gonna let the others answer that. I'm 4 pick only kind of guy, power. So
Yeah, I'll say it's definitely a really good way, not only to build your bankroll, but build your confidence in your card construction. I know it's a hit to the payout, and everyone wants the 10x and the big money. But if you're going on a cold streak, you definitely need to have some kind of a bankroll to back that up with. So be picky with your props. On a night like this would not be the night that I'm going hard. Like, not at all. Like Sunday, or when we get something that's like a really big outlier that the whole field's on, maybe go a little bit on that. But be careful with the bankroll management, especially on small slates. Like, this is not desperation time.
Also, if you have like those 3 picks that you're just like absolutely confident about, go ahead and put them into a 3 pick, and at least have enough to cover the rest of the entries you're going to be making. At least to have like that cushion to fall back on, so you can say, okay, at least those 3 plays hit, and all these little fringy ones, it is what it is. That way, you're not really losing as much. But I think 3 picks are definitely great. I'm liking them more and more now. Two and 3 picks. I mean, they smash, and you can make a good penny off of them too. Especially you have a pretty solid prop pool, and now with all these sports too. I mean, you can really get a lot of really solid like 2 and 3 mans. It'd be perfectly fine.
Yep, definitely.
totally agree. Um, let's see. Any more questions before we get out of here?
No, just make sure you get that Asia taco in. You got 7 minutes.
Okay, yeah. If you're trying to get a taco in, this was our like brainstorming session results here, including Euro as well. If you're willing to wait on cards to clear. But yeah, and these are kind of like the rank order, what we have as our favorite as well too for each team and each sport. Million said, "What are the top props so far? I need to pair them with taco." Yeah. So we went over that. Well, since you're using Asia, probably AT's rebound or her block steal. Consider Courtney's first half fantasy, Jackie's first half points, Chelsea's 2 turnovers, Eric liked Plum's 3 free throws made, Vince liked her 2 turnovers under. That's just probably the top ones, yeah, that we covered right there. So I'm going Plum under 2 threes, Fume said. All right. Jeremy said, I have faith in Plum like Josh has faith in Jackie and Emma.
Hey, they made us a lot of money over the last couple weeks. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like Jackie and Emma. Obi said Simone gonna beast for the Jazz this year. Oh, is he? Oh, so is he actually in the league now? Okay.
Oh, is he really?
Wow.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, he is, man. Jazz need all the help they can get. No
Yeah.
Donovan.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. Jermaine said, what about AT PRA and JJ points rebounds? Jermaine, it makes sense based on everything we said that they're going to rack up the offensive rebounds. They're going to get offensive rebound and then putbacks. So totally makes sense. That the thing with JJ is stamina, conditioning, foul trouble, and also if Bonner picks up her shot volume and usage, it usually dips into JJ's shot volume. So. But I mean, JJ, even if she's not getting the play set up for her, she can still get the shot volume via offensive rebound. Millie said, "Should I do Plum or Jackie? Is this literal or what? What is I don't know. What are we?
One
doing
or the other, not both.
I don't know. Prop wise, are we speaking about? Oh, like Plum's free throws versus Jackie's first half points?
Probably just in general, like which one do we like more or less? But I mean, they're both due for a big night. I would say just don't play them together.
Yeah. Oh no. They're gonna eat into each other if one of them has a good night, for sure. Totally agree with that. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna get. I guess there's no rush to get the list out now. The game is not for another 2 hours. I'm sorry we couldn't get the list out before the taco. See, the taco is I don't know why they did this. It's pretty annoying. Yes, it ends in 3 minutes. So that's okay. It gives us time to touch up all of our rank lists and get them out on Discord and Twitter and stuff like that. So we'll do that, and then I guess we're gonna be back on Thursday. Sounds like a big day, huh?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get that figured out.
Yeah. And I guess Friday, because it's Friday. Friday, do we have Euro Friday?
Oh, do we? I don't know. I haven't looked at the schedule.
Because then there's gonna be props galore because we'll have NFL, WNBA, and Euro all the same night. So
That's gonna be money.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
so much money.
we'll have
Look
to
for
see.
those errors.
Hmm
We'll have to keep an eye out for it.
It was money the last time too. Just gotta get the right props in there.
Yeah. So yeah, let's hope for a better game here. It's a Connecticut game. I'm not having high hopes that it's gonna be like a shootout or anything like that. I mean, you never know, but odds are that it's gonna be a mucked up defensive battle. So we'll see. Let's see what Plum does. I think that she's the X factor for sure. Just gonna quickly look before we get off air here. The schedule.
It's on Friday. Yeah,
All
we
right.
have Euro on Friday.
Are they doing one game? Because it's semifinals. So is it one game or are they doing both semis?
2 games, both games.
Oh, so both
Sure.
semis are.
Germany, Spain, and then the winner out of these next sets.
Oh man, I hope Italy can pull it off. Because if they do, they'll play Slovenia.
Hmm
That's what we want.
That's gonna be a great game to prop mine too. Great game.
But I assume France is they're favored.
Yeah, I think they are. Yep, 4-point favorites.
Oh, not bad. Okay,
No, it's not bad.
let's go
It's
Italy.
doable.
I that would make Friday awesome. So we'll definitely
Yeah.
get content out for that on Thursday when we stream. Because hopefully they'll post the lines early like they did today. That'll be an awesome game. Italy and Slovenia. So keep an eye out for that, and we will be back Thursday. Good luck, everyone. I hope we get a good game, better game. So, Courtney for the win.
Over
There you
70 points. Let's go.
Later, guys.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go. We about to go big. Kill him with the brass tag. Let's fucking go. We going out blazing.
Let's get hunting.
This is population. About to go big. Kill him with the brass tag. About to go big. Kill him with the brass tag. 24/7 researching, it's all a fantasy. But if I make the right plays, it pays automatically. Bankroll showing that I know it dope strategy. On a winning streak, I'm stacking a dose of the bookies, all get mad at me. Confident with power plays, not clicking on a flex today. 10 times the money, and we all about to get paid. Arrogant shots on the stream, they be killing it. Never gonna stop it, I like if you feeling it. Digging the players, they all never time. You can't make up your mind and just go with your gut. Fantasizing, Sasha Cloud. Gabby Williams said, watch your mouth. They 1 and they 2, I play the over, they come through. Jackie Young and Kelsey Plum, pick them both, we stacking them. Going big to the maximum, just push them in, we cashing them. Let's fucking go. We about to go big. Kill him with the brass tag. Let's fucking go. We going out blazing. This is population. About to go big. Kill him with the brass tag. About to go big. Kill him with the brass tags. We about to go big.
This is the game.
We going out blazing.
Let's get hunting.
This is population. About to go big.